Unique as they are, many Korean dramas actually take inspiration from mangas, webtoons, novels, or even other dramas. However, the acting, the screenwriting, and the filming add their own spices, creating the Korean dramas that we now love. But sometimes, the series we are watching may be vastly different from the original. And today, we are checking out 10 Korean dramas that diverge the most from their source materials. Number 10. Tale of Noktu. Tale of Noktu follows the male lead Noktu, who disguises himself as a woman to run away from his arranged marriage. He ended up in a village full of widows, and later adopted Dongju, the female lead, as his daughter. It's a sweet and fluffy romance comedy for a good 10 episodes, before we get into birth secrets, revenge, and political schemes. The drama actually follows its source material to the T, from funny elements to Dongju's iconic bob cut. But it did deliver a surprise: the appearance of a charming second male lead, who had history with the female lead. Thanks to this addition, viewers get to see the classic K-drama love triangle, and even an on-screen male-male kiss as the protagonist tries to convince people he's a girl. Number 9. True Beauty. In the 2020 K-drama True Beauty, 18-year-old high school student Kyung learns to improve her life using the art of makeup. She later gets tangled in a love triangle with the school prince, Suho, and his former best friend Sojun. After all the up and downs, she became Suho's girlfriend, only for him to break up with her as he had to leave the country. 2 years later, Suho's back. Sojun is still in love with Kyung, but decides to sacrifice his feelings and play love guru for the main couple.
그런 거 했대 나 뭐래나? 인사라도 하려면 빨리 가봐야겠는데?
An ending that leaves a vast majority of the audience crying over the second lead syndrome. All of these did not happen in the original webtoon though, minus Suho leaving. Suho and Kyung actually never got together. And during the time he was away, Kyung became close friends with Sojun. They eventually fell in love and got into a relationship with each other. Compared to the drama version, the webtoon is still ongoing. But at least there are fair chances for both Team Suho and Team Sojun. Number 8. Sung Kyung-kwan Scandal. This 2010 classic has female lead Yoon-hee pretend to be a boy and enroll in the prestigious school Sung Kyung-kwan of ancient Korea. There, she got close to 3 eccentric schoolmates, and they together formed the Jalgum Quartet, which is basically a historical F4. The series is full of forbidden romance, bromance, innocent gestures and protection, a grand gender reveal, and political dramas in the later half. As things conclude, the quartet has managed to defeat the bad guys, assist the king, and separated to go on different paths. A sweet and wholesome ending after the many events they went through. The original novel, though, is much lighter. There's little drama outside of school, and it is rated 18+ for a good reason. Instead of separating, our heroes became politicians together, and the final chapter ended with a wedding. There's also good news for fans of the bromance between the second lead Ja-shin and his friend Young-ha. In the novel, Young-ha is much more frank about his romantic feelings, basically declaring it outright with no hesitation. Number 7. 18 Again. Adapted from the American movie 17 Again, 18 Again retained the gist of the story. A man quit his dream to support his pregnant girlfriend, but as life grew tough, he wished to remake his life.
돌아가자.
He is thrust back into his teenage body. Attended the same school with his kids, and finally realized that family is still the most precious to him. Extending a 2-hour movie into a 16-episode series means a lot of additional scenes. And 18 Again is no exception. Instead of focusing solely on the male lead, the drama series also introduces the story of his wife, daughter, and son, and showcases their own struggles and challenges. There are also brand new characters, from the kind second lead, the gamer teacher, to the sweet childhood friend of the daughter. The most shocking difference, though, is that in the original movie, the main character actually shared a kiss with his own daughter, who was very interested in some sexy times. Number 6. Moon Lovers. Based on the famous Chinese novel Scarlet Heart, the Korean version, Moon Lovers, features a strong cast, from Lee Jung-ki to IU and EXO's Baekhyun. In the drama, we are following a modern woman who is transported back in time. She wakes up in the body of Lady Haisu and finds herself tangled with some of the ruling princes of the time. While the drama retains most of the original plot and even some of the most iconic scenes, there are some noticeable differences. The drama Wangso is much more violent and harsh compared to the source material. His scar and the iconic mask were also additional details that never existed, and he was never feared for his appearance. The heartbreaking deaths of the 10th Prince Wang-un and his lover Sun-dok also never happened in the original. In fact, they are happily married and the only couple in the series to have a happy end. Number 5. Liar Game. This time, Korea takes on the challenge of adapting the famous long-run manga Liar Game into a TV series. Starring naive university student Da-jung, the drama has her enter a survival game where competitors have to trick each other to win the hefty prize money. Right from the get-go, we can spot huge differences. The original male lead is not an ex-criminal like in the drama. There was no hidden camera audition, and instead, our female lead was just sent straight into the game. The drama Liar Game was also broadcast on public television, while the original game was an illegal underground survival where the stakes are much higher. Even the second lead was originally not in the play. There were only masked hosts in the manga. The final distinction was in the grand finale. As the drama characters found their lives actually endangered and guns were drawn, the manga characters discovered that all the threats they received were fake, and it was just an experiment all along. Number 4. Cheese in the Trap. Just like the original webtoon, the 2016 K-drama Cheese in the Trap follows the hardworking university student Hong Sol and her seemingly kind upperclassman, Yoo Jung. As she discovered Jung's real face, however, her life grew more miserable, and she had to take time off school, only to come back to a completely different Jung and his complicated past. While characters in the drama seem to be taken straight out of the webtoon with accurate hairstyles, fashions, and brilliant acting, we can't say the same about the plot. The drama sequence of events is all switched up. Past events are brought to the current timeline, Sol and Jung start dating way earlier compared to the original, the second lead In-ho is given more spotlight, the list goes on. But the most noticeable change lies in how the drama ends. In the drama, Sol and Jung broke up, and despite Sol sending him emails for years, he never responded until the very final scene. This is a huge contrast to the sweet webtoon ending, where we get to see Sol in Jung's arms at her graduation ceremony. Number 3. Mr. Queen. Inspired by the Chinese novel Go Princess Go, and later the famous Chinese web drama of the same name, Mr. Queen had attained extreme popularity with its witty plot and charming characters. But compared to the original, Mr. Queen was a completely new story. The only similarity is the basic idea, where a modern man was forced into a woman's body and found himself married to another man. In the drama, the female lead was a professional chef in the present, and continuously uses her cooking skills to her advantage. But in the novel, such a skill was never mentioned. She was also not married to the king, but the crown prince. And the lead's goal was never to defeat two evil queens, but to ascend to the throne. The differences are endless, from characters to major plot events, but most significant is the ending. Mr. Queen ends on a controversial note, with the female lead being sent back to her male body in the present day. However, in the original novel, she stays, and has multiple children with the male lead, living happily ever after. The Chinese web drama version even went further with 3 original endings, so if you are interested, check them out and find your favorite. Number 2. Sweet Home. In the Netflix adaptation of popular Korean webtoon Sweet Home, the audience gets to see Song Kang and Lee Do-hyun on the same small screen. Just like its source material, Sweet Home revolves around Cha Hyun-soo, a high school student who moves to a new apartment after his family is killed in an accident. He finds himself in the middle of an apocalypse soon after, with infected people becoming monsters and going on murder rampages. Compared to the webtoon, the drama switched quite a few things up. First, we have a new main character, the former firefighter Kyung, who actually never appeared in the comic. The original female lead Jisoo now only serves a supporting role, and the entire reason why Hyun-soo was able to resist the monster went completely unmentioned. While the drama mostly focused on monster fighting, the webtoon dug deeper into human relationships, each of the characters' pasts, their motives, and the actual cause of the apocalypse. We also have a different ending. In the drama, the military arrives and carts away the survivors, while Hyun-soo is on the run with another half-monster. The webtoon, meanwhile, introduces two endings. One where Song Kang and Do-hyun's characters die together, and another where they both survive in a military camp. The webtoon also explained the meaning of the name Sweet Home, so if you are curious, give it a read. Number 1. Kingdom. This Netflix original series has taken the world by storm with its signature twist, that is, putting zombies in a historical setting. In the drama, we follow Crown Prince Lee Chang, who is trying to investigate his father's mysterious illness. He ended up encountering a zombie outbreak as well as a political plot. The prince also found an ally in Young-shin, a tiger hunter who was among the first to discover the zombies. But little do people know, this masterpiece was actually based on a webcomic called The Kingdom of the Gods, which was written by the screenwriter herself. In the original comic, we still have a prince and his companion. However, the prince is a literal child and his buddy is a blind and buffy bandit. There was also not so much political drama nor strategies involved, for the comic was all about brute force and artful martial arts. In fact, Kingdom differs from its source material so much that many viewers even said they are two whole different stories, just set in the same world. So did any of the differences surprise you? Do you prefer the drama version or the originals? Just comment down below. And if you want more videos like this, like, share, and subscribe to bbalidrama. We'll be back soon. See ya!